Hello, children, welcome back. Let us begin our day with today's thought. The future depends on what we do in present. These are the words by the great man Mahatma Gandhi. Whatever efforts we put in today, these are going to bear the sweet fruits of tomorrow. So, before we begin with our new chapter, today I am going to tell you a story of a boy. You all like to read and listen to stories, isn't it? His name was Mohan and he was studying in a school at a place in Gujarat called Rajkot. He was very fond of reading. One day, Mohan read a story of Shravan. In lockdown period, you must have enjoyed the retelecast of the epic Ramayana. So, do you remember who was Shravan? I know you all remember the story very well. He was the one who carried his old blind parents in two baskets, slung, attached to a bamboo. Mohan was deeply moved by the devotion of Shravan and decided to be a boy like Shravan. Mohan was greatly inspired by the story of Raja Harishchandra. One day he happened to watch the play related to Raja Harishchandra, the king who lost his kingdom and suffered much but did not deviate from the path of truth. As a small boy, Mohan was afraid of thieves and snakes. He feared to step in darkness. There was a maid who served in his house. He asked Mohan, "Why are you so much afraid?" "Lord Ram will protect you. Fear never encounters him. Who remembers Ram?" Mohan's faith in Ram increased as he grew up. So now you must have guessed that I am telling you the story of the great person, Mahatma Gandhi ji. Mohan's father was Karamchand Gandhi. Earlier he was Diwan at Porbandar and later he became the Diwan of Rajkot. During their stay at Rajkot, his father's Parsi and Muslim friends often visited their house and they discussed about the good things in their religions. Mohan heard these discussions with great interest and it created a love and respect for all religions. Gandhiji was born, let me tell you something, he was born in Porbandar on the sea coast of Saurashtra on 2nd of October 1869. In those days, as you know, we were under British rule. It so happened one day that one of his friends told Mohan that the British were, why the British were so strong, how could the British rule us? Because they ate meat. Mohan was convinced by this argument, but Mohan's family was strictly vegetarian, so he tried meat eating outside. But he was greatly influenced by the stories of Shravan. He was greatly influenced by Raja Harishchandra and he had decided that he will always speak the truth. Never ever he will lie. So finally he disclosed it and he decided that he would never ever touch meat again. After passing his matriculation exam, that is nowadays we say 10th standard, Mohandas joined a college for further study. But his eldest brother decided to send him to England to become a barrister. He faced numerous hurdles there and he was always starved till he could find a good vegetarian restaurant. After finishing his education, he came back to Rajkot and started his practice. But in few days an offer came to him to go to South Africa as a legal advisor to an Indian firm. In May 1893, he left for South Africa. In those days in South Africa, Indians were not treated well, and this was experienced by Gandhiji too. What happened one day? He was traveling in a train to Pretoria in a first class compartment. In those days, only the Britishers or the Europeans they were allowed to sit in the first class compartment. Indians were not at all allowed to sit. On the way, a European passenger entered the compartment and found Gandhiji and immediately lodged a complaint. Gandhiji raised an objection as he had bought a ticket, but nobody heard him and he was thrown out of his compartment with bag and baggage. This is how he was thrown out. The train left. Gandhiji spent that night shivering in cold. This incident left a great impact on the life of Gandhiji. He decided to fight all the injustices with the only weapon, a weapon of truth. Later on, it was named as Satyagraha. He called a meeting of the Indians in Pretoria. This was his first public speech and it caused a new awakening among Indians. Gandhiji spent nearly 21 years in South Africa. Throughout that period, he tried hard to make the life of oppressed Indians and other people better. He went to jail several times. He was forced to work as a laborer for around 9 to 10 hours in a day. He gave up his European style of dressing and started dressing in a simple Indian way. On his return to India, he set up an ashram on the banks of river Sabarmati. Gandhiji did all sorts of manual work in the ashram with his co-workers. He would sweep the floor, work in the kitchen, clean the utensils, and even grind the grains too. He soon became a topic of talks as nobody has seen a person, a leader, doing all sorts of such work. It was the year 1916. Gandhiji was invited to participate in the foundation ceremony of the Banaras Hindu University at Banaras. It was a gorgeous show. Many people were there to witness the ceremony. Gandhiji was clad in a simple Kathiawadi dress, you can see in the picture. He made there his first great political speech. His speech instilled a new life in the paralyzed limbs of India. The people said, "Here at last is a man who can help us." Gandhiji visited many villages, heard the plight of poor farmers of Champaran in Bihar, and successfully challenged the decision of British government. He traveled all over India. He saw the terrible poverty of people. Though he was always simple in his dress, he decided to be simpler. Henceforth, he wore only a lion cloth, that is a small dhoti. It's a very small dhoti. It is only up to the length. It comes only up to the knee, and sometimes a cloth or a shawl. That's all. At the time of First World War, he considered his duty to help the British. This war was over. Britain won, but the government did not proceed towards granting self-rule as they had promised earlier. They required the help of Indian soldiers. So they had promised to grant some amenities or to grant self-rule to India, but as soon as the war was over, the government did not proceed towards granting self-rule. An idea of all India strike was fixed on 1919. The people were asked to fast that day. Then a call of non-cooperation and civil disobedience was given, that is, not listening to the orders given by the British. Huge bonfires were organized to burn foreign clothes. People came on street and such were the bonfires lit on the road, and the foreign clothes they were put in the fire to burn all the clothes that came from Europe. Gandhiji was arrested and jailed several times in his life. This was the year 1922. He fell ill and the British government released him. In those times, he traveled extensively, preached unity, village upliftment through home industries. He saw the plight of people, he saw the plight of poor farmers, and he preached unity, village upliftment through home industries. Later on, the Simon Commission was appointed by the British to pacify the Indians, but it was shown black flags, and wherever the commission went, it was greeted with the slogans, "Go back, Simon." Nothing could be achieved by granting of Simon Commission. In that time, the peasants are the farmers, peasants of Bardoli resorted to satyagraha and non-payment of taxes in protest of illegal increase of land revenue. This movement was led by Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. The day of January 26, 1930 was celebrated as Independence Day, as they had resolved for complete independence for India. Pledges were taken and pledges were taken not to relax until full independence was won. So, this was the significance of the day 26 January for us. In those days, salt was only manufactured by the government, and the government had levied heavy tax on salt, and it became out of the reach of the poor people. You all know that we cannot live without the salt as it is an essential commodity. Government paid no heed towards the appeal made by people. So on March 12 at 6:30 in the morning, Gandhiji started on foot from his ashram to break the salt law. His look was peaceful, fearless. Hundreds of people joined the march. These hundreds became thousands. At last, after 24 days, the march ended 241 miles on April 5th at Dandi. He picked up a lump of salt that was left on the shore by the sea, and thus he broke the law. All over the country, even in remote villages, men, women, college going students came out in processions and manufactured salt without paying any tax. The government brutally beat the demonstrators, yet the struggle did not stop. Hundreds and thousands were imprisoned, arrested by the British. Later on, he was invited to attend the Roundtable Conference in London. The purpose of the conference was to draft a future constitution for India. In London, people were curious to have a look at Gandhiji. They were so surprised that a simple man wearing just a lion cloth and shawl, how could he achieve independence for the country? How could he survive in the cold climate of London? In London, he stayed in the locality of the poor people. When the British king invited him, he went there with the usual dress, loincloth and a shawl. He did not change his attire even to meet the king because he knew that back in India there were so many poor people, those who could not wear good clothes, and he had decided to wear the same attire throughout his life. Back to Round Table Conference, nothing was achieved there. In 1940, Gandhiji paid a visit to the great ashram of Rabindranath Tagore, that is Shantiniketan. The Second World War had started. It started in the previous year, that is in 1939. In those days, Winston Churchill was the Prime Minister of Britain. He did not like Gandhiji and he always ridiculed him. Gandhiji was convinced that the British won't leave us, British won't leave India unless they were driven out of the country. So a call of Quit India, the resolution of Quit India was drafted in 1942. Many great leaders, including Gandhiji, Jawaharlal Nehru, were arrested. They took the mantra, do or die, karo ya maro. Demonstrators were mercilessly beaten. They were all jailed. On May 6, 1944, ended his last imprisonment. On the whole, he spent in jail 249 days in South Africa and around 2089 days in India. All through his life, he was jailed many times for breaking the laws, but he did not leave the weapon of satyagraha, that is, satya agraha, satyacha agraha. He worked for the unity of all religions, upliftment of the weaker section of society. At the end of World War, Britain went to polls, that is, the elections were held. Though these countries emerged victorious, but still Mr. Winston Churchill was defeated and the rule of Labour Party came to power. Mr. Attlee became the Prime Minister and he announced the withdrawal of British rule, and on August 15, 1947, the struggle for independence was finally over. We got freedom and the rule of about 200 years of British rule came to an end. The world was really surprised that without any weapon, without any fight, how could the freedom struggle be achieved? And this is the example that this great man has set before the world. So, children, I hope you have liked the story. In next week, we will be starting with our new chapter. Till then, stay safe, stay indoors, try to read more stories related to the great leaders related to our freedom struggle. Stay safe, stay indoors. Thank you.